and it's all come full circle. And maybe the big metaphor is that like, your brain is like searching for something that just doesn't exist. Why?
Yeah.
Because fucking bacon, egg, and cheeses and Taylor ham, whatever you call it, pork roll, egg, and cheeses are fantastic, and that's okay.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Whipped Cream Salmon, the podcast where we talk about all things food, friends, and fuckery. I am very excited for today's episode. We have a very special guest joining us, someone that I had the privilege of working with alongside early in my career, as did Brian. Back then, I was a young line cook getting my footing in the kitchen, and he was one of the lead cooks in there, and a guy that kind of looked up to, learned from, and tried to keep up with. It's been a while since we caught up. We were trying to count how many years, and we stopped at 10. So really good to have him on the podcast, one of the original members of the Plump Jack pirate crew. And it's an honor to welcome back someone that I've always admired, Jordan Miller, Chef Jordan Miller. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Oh, man, that's too much. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Those are very kind words. I feel very fondly about my time with you guys, too. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, as do we, and that's why we wanted to get you on here.
Pleasure to be here.
And so Jordan came out and joined us in Tahoe for a season, right? I mean, he was already like established chef, and if the story goes correctly, him and his friend Jake, or his executive chef at the time, Jake, came out and they were like, "Hey, we want to snowboard for the season." So they got some line cook jobs, and we were in the same kitchen, and it was an awesome winter for sure. Were you there for the 4 months or whatever, or was it longer than that?
Yeah, it was a little bit longer, but it was basically 6 months of like a rental agreement in some place, but it was abbreviated, I think, especially towards the spring.
Yeah.
I think for whatever reason, maybe snow melt or something, everyone got out of there pretty early, but
yeah. I mean, I look back at those times very fondly as well. I mean, a lot of laughs, a lot of fuckery happened in that kitchen and around that ski resort. So yeah, welcome to the pod.
Appreciate it, boys.
Yeah.
Do you have a cold beverage with you?
I do. I have several.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
When you have a kid, you have to have several.
Yeah, and your drinking preferences, I've noticed, seem to change as well. At least mine have, in my experience. So
stronger or?
No, opposite. I basically look for water replacements at this point. So yeah.
What are you drinking?
Good. Well, in honor of tomorrow being the Super Bowl, I have a garage beer here.
Right.
Garage beer. I like that.
Sponsored by the Kelsey boys of the Philadelphia Eagles. So not to be confused with the Kelsey of the Kansas City Chiefs. Go Birds. Yeah. There's
Go
my
Bird.
plug. Go Birds.
Not a Birds fan, but tomorrow I am.
Yeah, well, I was born into it, so I have no choice. It's in the blood.
Oh, you're an Eagles fan?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right
All
on.
right.
That's awesome for you. Yeah.
South Jersey, I live in the cusp. There's
okay.
There's some rules,
Gotcha.
like dividing lines, but I'm on the southern end of the dividing line, so.
Yeah, I gotcha. What are you drinking, Ronnie?
I've got this kind of a cool beer. I was at a sushi spot the other day, and they were kind enough to let me take one of these home. Didn't want to drink it with my sushi because it seemed kind of wild for sushi, but it is a Japanese beer. It's called from a brewery. I think it's called Kizakura in Kyoto. It's a Japanese style IPA. It's a matcha IPA.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
It's a little upper and downer at the same time.
Oh, it is extremely green. It is crazy green. Look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I feel shame bringing my beer.
It's so green. I mean,
you don't want to see what my beer looks like in a glass.
Jesus.
I'm drinking a heavy one too. I got a JoJo's chocolate vanilla stout over here.
Wow.
We're going heavy. This is not, Jordan, that's not my usual drink of choice, but it's what was in the back of the fridge that's probably been in there for 8 months or so. So
I'm jealous.
He's usually more of like a rosé kind of guy.
yeah,
No,
pinky up, baby.
Now I'm a dad. I have to be able to drive at any moment of any time of any day. So
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah.
that's super fair.
But right now, in honor of not having to drive anywhere and having the house to myself, maybe I'll have to drink a couple
Yeah.
with you boys.
Cheers,
Cheers.
buddy. Good to have
Cheers.
you on.
Wonderful talking to you too.
It's pretty tasty, actually.
She's heavy.
Based on based on how green it was, I was pretty scared. But
I was scared for you.
it's actually pretty good.
It's
Great.
like chlorophyll.
So
the chlorophyll hop combo was what I was wondering about.
so kind of get into those days. Like, how did you end up at Plump Jack? And like, I know we've talked a lot about specifically that first year. I mean, in the way that I remember it, there was a lot of talent in that kitchen, which as the years went on in Squaw and in Tahoe was not always the case. And it just that year in my mind was like extra special because I mean, you and Jake were, like we said, established chefs in your own right. And then there was like several other guys in that kitchen that were just like, the competition was really strong, I feel. And as the years went on, I mean, it was like scraping at the bottom of the barrel sometimes to just find hands in the kitchen, So
Yeah.
how did you end up out there exactly?
Oh, there are a lot of moving pieces. Basically, there is a restaurant in Long Beach Island, New Jersey, which is not my hometown, but I live on basically the bay side of a barrier island on the Jersey Shore. And there's a restaurant on the Jersey Shore called Black Eyed Susan's, which is owned by a wonderful couple they're dear friends of mine. I consider them family. I think I first met Chris Sanchez and Ashley Pellegrino are their names, excuse me. Just to give them a shout and proper cred. But I think I washed dishes in a kitchen that Chris was the chef at when I was like 14. So that's how I met him originally. Fast forward, Jake somehow knew them. I forget how. Oh, through his cousins. His cousins have a house on the Jersey Shore where this restaurant is. He ended up working there one summer. I worked there one summer. That's how I met Jake. And then Ashley Pellegrino, the owner of this restaurant, is like best buds with Bonnie, but she was the badass banquet captain.
Yeah,
maybe. Backcountry skier, badass chick who like owns wolves and like lives in the woods. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So there's the connection. And I think, I was young and Jake was young. Jake was the chef de cuisine at this joint at this point, Black Eyed Susan's. I was just there. I think I had a couple jobs, maybe. I was maybe like just out of college or like, I think I was just out of college. And I was basically floating, looking for where life was going to bring me. And then somebody mentioned, hey, you should go to Lake Tahoe for the winter and go skiing. I was like, bingo, sign me up for that. I'm pretty sure Ashley made a phone call to Bonnie and Bonnie set up an interview and yeah, the rest is history.
It's wild. And you guys both moved out together, right? You and Jake?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so we both worked there for years. I mean, we continued to work there. I think that first stint for me was 3 years. And then I think Ronnie, was it 5 for you at that point?
About 5.5, yeah.
I left, and then I came back as the sous chef for another 2 up until pretty recently. So yeah, that was actually like my last restaurant job. And then now I'm out of it. Ronnie was out of it as well. I'm out of it for now. We'll see. Stay tuned, everyone, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drag him back, but can't.
Yeah, I mean, I circumstantially, I remember it not being feasible for me. I think like our rental had fizzled out, and like finding a new one seemed near impossible. And then there was like a down season, but I probably would have stayed in that environment doing that forever if it
if you could afford it, right?
well, and it wasn't so hardcore seasonal in the sense of like you don't have a job at a certain time of year, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, I'm a hustler. It's like I can't sit for 2 months not making money.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like time is everything. So I think it was just out of the question for me financially, but straight up I would have stayed at that place forever. Plump Jack, Tahoe, that team, we could have taken over the world.
It was really good. I mean, it was a really good team. And like to Ronnie's point, like that's when like I think I don't know, I think of the restaurant industry in a lot of ways like it was very strong for a while and very competitive. And maybe it still is at like certain levels, at like the highest level. I'm sure that it is still competitive to not only get a job but like to actually climb the ladder in that job to make it up to being a sous chef or a head chef or whatever it is. And I think now I don't know, the vibe I get from people I talk to that are in the industry are like, oh, the talent just isn't there, and we're putting people on stations that like really don't deserve to be on those stations, or like, yeah, or we really need the help. We're happy they're there at all. I don't know if you've heard of similar stories from other people around you.
Yeah, I've had such a weird career in a way. Like by the grace of God, somehow I got out of the individually owned restaurant game during COVID, and I worked for like a very beautiful, exclusive private club in Utah. So like I was busier than I've ever been during COVID, and I was sheltered in a way in which that is like regrettable for me because I feel like, you know, I've been a captain on so many of those damn ships. I feel like there's a piece of me who should have burned with it. I did really, really well through COVID um, because I had just found this weird niche in a state where the rules were different. You know, I was in Utah at that time.
Sure.
So it was just for me, it was different because, you know, if I talk to my homies who worked in New York City, they all left. They should have. I would have too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's my story. I mean, I was there. I was the sous chef at Plump Jack's when COVID hit. Closed the restaurant. Came back a month later to flip burgers until I decided to leave the restaurants. So yeah, and then it never fully recovered. I mean, like I'm saying, like the good thing that came out of it was almost immediately, and Mike talked about this when he was on, but like people started getting paid all of a sudden, which was awesome, right? Like people who were barely scraping the minimum wage in California, all of a sudden, like we can't get cooks or even dishwashers in the restaurant. Like now they're getting $25 an hour to come in, and that's really good. And in a lot of ways, it should have happened a lot earlier than it did happen because of an emergency. It's just kind of it. I don't know. Even with that, I think people still are bouncing to other careers. It's a lot for especially like someone who has aspirations outside of just being a single person. It's hard to do the family thing. It's hard to There's so many other things.
Yeah, you nailed it. If you have mouths to feed or give more than two shits about anybody in your life, you know, you had to get out.
I did the same thing. I left for a couple of years. Only just recently found my way back into it, and it's been good. And now it's reconsumed my life. But I'm excited about it again. I was in Nevada during COVID, and we shut down. And I was working for a mom and pop restaurant. They'd been in business for 20 plus years, but when things shut down and then sort of reopened, they were like, "We're not going to be the guinea pigs here and like be the first ones to reopen," because and then also at that time, everyone was on unemployment, and then people were upset that they couldn't get their cooks back in the kitchen but the reality of it, they were only open 2 days a week or 3 days a week. And they were like, so they couldn't, not only could they not compete with what people were making in unemployment, because that was more than any cook had ever made, but also they couldn't even provide the hours for them, so it was a weird time for everybody. And I don't blame anybody for making any decision that they made during that time,
Me either. I mean, absolutely. I mean, how can you pursue passion when you're struggling to eat, Can't.
Yeah.
It's not, those things don't go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Humans got to get out of survival mode in order to reach their potential.
I mean, when you're 20, you can do it and you can justify it, right? Like, and
totally. You're never more powerful than when you're 20 because you're an expert at being poor.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't need anything.
Correct.
Like I will sleep on the floor or a friend's couch. And now if I sleep on my friend's couch, I'm crippled for a week. I can't,
Yes, that's it. 100%.
And it wasn't as like, I mean, we were I don't exactly remember, but we were probably working like 8 to 10 hour shifts for the most part. Like that's not crazy for the restaurant industry at all. I remember watching like Chef's Table and them doing a linea and Grant saying like, no, if you have a dog, like you're probably not working here because you can't leave to feed your dog, right? Like you're going to be here for 15 hours and then you're going to come home and you're going to come back again in the morning.
You talk to all those old fucks though, and they're all like, I'd change it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's, I hear you. It's like, it's a pursuit of art. There's like a piece of you that wants to see how far it goes, but at the end of the day, it's like at the expense of what?
Yeah.
Right. I get it. Like, sure, Alinea was cool. He created amazing things, and probably his biggest thing is like the amount of restaurants that came out of Alinea. Like, do that family tree. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They're running the whole game right now. Chicago, LA, New York, all of it. They're all ex Grant Achatz people. But you know what? Kudos to him, man. I think that's like his real, that's what he actually does. That's why he's actually cool, not because he worked 80 hours a week, because he taught 500 people who are now running the entire fine dining restaurant game in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Churning out really great chefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a contribution that, nobody can really mess with. But if you ask him the price he paid to get there, he's got a documentary out somewhere. It's like no kids, no family. I hope he has good relationships with them, because I don't know how you could doing that, but
totally. I mean, all the most elite people in every discipline seem to be lacking in other areas of their life. Like, I mean, the Tom Brady's who like, you're the best ever to do it, but like also like what's really happening with your home life, and like, I mean, every single person that's elite.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You got to be off to be that obsessed about anything, really.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
So what are you up to these days? Now, the Plump Jack years and the rowdy ski town days are long behind us.
I've just kept plugging along, and I've found the niche. I'm a chef at a country club and golf course, Deal Golf and Country Club in New Jersey.
How long have you been there?
This is a new job for me. I'm going on year 2, I guess.
Okay.
Moved back to New Jersey a couple years ago. My whole crew's here, like I said. We're a bike ride away from grandma and grandpa. We're a 2-minute car ride away from my in-laws. We've got a tribe here, so it's nice. My wife's family, my daughter has like 12 cousins or something. Like, within 3 miles of us. So I try to have fun with the kids.
Awesome.
Hell
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Shit, man. All right. So something fun we wanted to do. We've done a couple drafts on this podcast.
Okay.
So we're going to do a snake draft. And we're going to draft sauces. So favorite sauces, top sauces, any kind of sauces.
Anything.
Any kind of sauces. It'll be 4 rounds.
Like personal, like professional use. Like, what are we talking here? It's like,
I think it should be a known sauce. It shouldn't be a sauce that you like made one time in, your restaurant that was really good.
to serve somebody or to consume myself, because I think that's
Either.
Either or, yeah.
I was even saying, like, I think this could go in so many different directions. Like, there's super important sauces that like are an ingredient for other sauces that maybe not by themselves they're really that important, but as an ingredient they're super important.
and I have crutches at work. I mean, I have a great job, but I also we probably do 5 million a year in business, so we're not slow. And banquets and fine dining, dinners and wine tastings, and there's all sorts of stuff going on. So, like, my answers for what I would serve somebody would probably be different than what I would order for myself.
Sure. We'll take it whatever way you want. Yeah, and we'll see like what each other throw up on the board, and we'll see if we spark some ideas too.
So I got all of our names up. I'm gonna share my screen here. Got all of our names up on this little spinning wheel here. And we'll go ahead and spin it. See who gets the first pick here.
Rigged.
Maybe not the first pick, but I'll take I'll take the third. I'll take the third pick.
You'll take the third. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it over here.
Jordan, what pick do you want? 1 or 2?
I'll go first. I'll start it off.
Okay. All right. Jordan goes first. Brian goes second, and I will take the third pick. Snake draft. So we'll go back and forth. All right. 1-1 on the board. Jordan Miller, what do you got?
I gotta go classic hollandaise.
Ooh, so high on my board.
Yeah.
Clear that one right off my board. Oh yeah, look at you got whole spreadsheet up.
That's that computer programmer in him.
Yeah.
Spreadsheet.
Can't spell, but
proud of you.
Hollandaise, great pick.
All right. Brian is on the board.
Yeah, that probably would have been my first pick. It's so important. It's so delicious. It's the richest thing ever. Put it on a steak, eggs, obviously. It's important. Just dip some fries in that sucker, That's it.
Endless.
Put a little of my coffee in the morning.
Encyclopedias could be written on hollandaise and its derivatives.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
So I keep guessing, or is this still on me?
Nope. Now Brian's up.
Right. Okay.
I might go kind of in the condiment direction, actually.
Okay. I'd say most of my sauces are condiments, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna go chili crisp.
Chili crisp? Is
that a sauce? As long as it counts as a sauce.
Yeah, no, that counts.
That counts,
it's
right?
Saucy.
No, that threw me off. I
wanted to throw you off.
Yeah,
but my brain wasn't even there. Good one.
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, I mean, crispy shallots and garlic and neutral oil and chili peppers. It's the best condiment. Put it on eggs again. Dude, I put it on so much stuff. Like anything that's a leftover that I'm eating gets chili crisp on it. So I'll put a little bit in my chicken salad sandwiches. Everything for sure.
Okay,
Chili
I like
crisp. Ronnie on the clock.
All right, so I got 2 picks here. I got third and fourth. So my first pick, I'm going to take demi-glace. Demi's a tough one to beat.
Can't argue that one.
Beautiful. Yeah. And then this next pick, I'm going to go with salsa. Love a salsa.
Like a red salsa?
You know, red salsa, salsa verde. You can go any which
take
direction.
all the salsas? Hold up.
Yeah, salsa. You took all of the chili crisps.
That's a very West Coast answer. See, again, that one took me by surprise.
Yep. I'm going with salsa.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, it's important for sure. I'm going to go with not only one of my favorite sauces, but one of my favorite sauces to say, the puttanesca, the horse sauce.
Horse pasta.
That is what it translates to.
Specifically of the night.
Yeah. It is, for those who don't know, it is a red sauce with capers, olives, anchovies, garlic, everything. They call it the horse sauce because you put so much stuff in it. It's one of my favorite things to put on pasta. Yeah, fantastic. And just being an Italian American, put red sauce on anything. It'll get me jazzed up. So, puttanesca for me.
Hey. All right, Jordan, you got 2 picks here.
Oh, man, this is tough. Because it's not necessarily my favorite thing in the world. But again, encyclopedias could be written about it. Aioli and mayonnaise, or mayonnaise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. So important, right? Like, so many sauces are based off that. So many dishes are made with it. Dip into it, whatever. Yeah, super important.
Yeah. Again, endless creativity with that one.
Nice.
It's tough. We're getting, we're getting through the majors now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's still bangers out. I mean, there's still obviously classics.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm debating now. It's like, do you go classic or do you go something hyper specific? Because
Do that.
Right, because there's a lot of classic sauces that it's like, it's a great sauce. You know, obviously it has its merit, but it's like, is it my favorite sauce? Do it like,
right.
There's a lot that would be above, say, salsa, but I'll put salsa on way more things than I would any old classy French
Oh, yeah,
sauce.
I know. But doy. It's a Beurre Monté or a Beurre Blanc or, Beurre Rouge, whatever, any wine-based butter sauce or water-based butter sauce. That one makes the most sense to me.
Burr whatever.
Burr whatever.
That's fair.
Love it. Yep. Burr, add liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Emulsify. Here we go.
You got 2 classic butter sauces on your board right there, Jordan. I like that.
Yeah.
He's got the whole egg and butter spectrum covered.
Yeah. It's probably a sign.
I think it's a sign of a good chef is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sign of being in a kitchen for too long.
That's right.
All right. I have a bunch of good stuff over here.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with one that we've talked about recently. I'll go with the black mole.
Ooh,
that's a great one.
See, you got me. That might be like last meal type sauce right there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much going on. It's so complex. I mean, obviously, like for Mexican cuisine, like once you have a mole, you could make a million different dishes with that mole. They're kind of very similar to each other. Make your enchiladas, you throw it on some, mix it up with some shredded chicken, have some tacos, whatever. But yeah, just delicious.
Well, with mole, right? It's all about the sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Just the mole.
Right.
What was the restaurant you were talking about, Ronnie? With the were you talking about that with the 2 moles in Mexico City?
Pujol or whatever.
Pujol, thank you. Yeah, where they just have like the 2 different. He has like the one mole is like the mother mole, and then the one like poured inside of that one is like the new one or something like that. So it's just like the age
green, I think.
Yeah,
it's like the mole negro and like a green mole, I believe.
We saw some pictures with some other stuff, like more of like a light, like not green one, but not to say that they don't have that.
I could be wrong. I'm drawing from pictures in my brain because that guy is extraordinarily famous and good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's got restaurants in New York City too.
Yeah. A few years after you left PJ's, we had this kid. His name is Matt, but we called him Beansy because he made incredible beans. But he is had a Mexican heritage, and after he left PJ's, he went down to Mexico City, and I don't know if he staged at Pujol or if he just ate there, but then he went and like spent, I think, like 6 months or so and staged at a bunch of great restaurants in Mexico City. But yeah, he's raved about that dish specifically.
Yeah,
It's rad.
All right.
There's so many more. I mean, we could do 10 rounds. Really.
I know.
We're gonna leave some super important ones off. Maybe we could do a couple. We'll do extended honorable mentions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with soy sauce. I mean, it's such a solid one. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to go without.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to so many different dishes. That's actually when I was talking about the layout of the draft. That's what I had in my mind. I was like, oh, that's like super, super important. Obviously, like sushi, you just dip in soy sauce and that's all good. But like, how many other sauces has soy sauce? And it's not even just Asian, right? I mean, you get like South American and Central American cuisine has soy sauce in it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you removed soy sauce from the world, it would. I mean, Asia alone, you'd probably lose like 85% of all Asian dishes. But yeah, worldwide, it'd be a pretty significant hit. So I'm gonna go with soy sauce.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's what makes Japanese and Asian cooking amazing, is their ability to salt things without using salt.
Right.
And that's what makes their cooking so unique in a way. It's like they don't stick their fingies in the tub of kosher salt all the time. It's like they're using miso, they're using soy, these other lovely things to season things.
Just the tub of MSG.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes their food just so unique.
Amen. Yeah.
All right. I've got another one that I'm gonna do it. My fourth pick. I'm gonna go with ranch. I'm gonna take ranch.
That's a real California. That's a real California answer.
But no, that's. I mean, if there was a sauce to represent Caucasians, that would be it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Ranch is the Caucasian soy sauce.
Your board.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's delicious. You're a psycho monster if you dip your pizza in it, you West Coast hooligans.
No, just your French fries.
See, I can get down with that.
I mean, for shitty pizza, for California pizza, you dip it in ranch.
Well, right.
If it's a frozen pizza, but you could do
buffalo chicken and whatever,
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Demi on your board, Ronnie, I would say that an 8-year-old picked your sauces.
Yeah, my daughter would be down with that list.
I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. You know what I mean?
Amen, brother.
I love it.
Last one. I know. I got so many others on my board that I think I would have rather picked. But I'm happy with what I got.
With your guns.
I enjoy all of those things.
Yeah, ranch.
No need to apologize. Drinking your green beer and with your ranch.
Yeah, St. Patty's Day is right around the corner.
Okay. I have a lot of stuff to sift through, I suppose. I got two that are very different from each other. I'm gonna do carbonara. Pancetta, bacon, pasta water, cheese and egg yolks, right? Or eggs. So good, so creamy, no cream necessary. Italian American. Italian, real Italian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's one of those pastas that you could eat all the time.
Shouldn't. You definitely shouldn't do that.
No, you shouldn't. But every time somebody like mentions it, you're like, ooh yeah.
Yeah.
Just like you said carbonara, I went, ooh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it.
She's dirty.
A few episodes back, I told the story about how I ruined carbonara. I just like, it's one of those moments I was making dinner and I just forgot what I was doing and I just poured it straight into the pan and then it was like, immediately started scrambling. I was like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, what happened to me just now? Like, had all my mies out ready to go. I was like, we were good. And I just, I just fumbled the bag at the end. What the fuck? I had to restart dinner.
It happens. Wow. I've been cooking for 20 years and the running joke at my work is that I burn toast still, like religiously. So
happens to the best of us.
Who burned the bacon?
Yeah, bacon is the most burnt thing in America.
Yeah. How true that is.
All right, you got one more.
Yeah. Man. This is a tough one because I feel like I went with like professional choices.
Go with your heart on this one, Jordan.
Oh man,
I feel like that was a shot across the bow.
Look at these lists. They're so different.
I don't know. I mean, is it too Jersey to just say a classic red sauce? I think I just got to go with red sauce. I mean,
I think that's great.
Marinara?
Yeah, I think some of that, as you would say, marina.
Marina. The gabagool.
Right. You don't know any Italian or actually speak Italian except in those finite moments where you say Italian words.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I'm cooking pasta, I always use marina.
Marina. Okay.
I definitely had that on my list.
Yeah, super
good. Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I think it's a solid list.
Hit me with five other ones, Ronnie.
I don't think any of you have ranch, but I also had marinara or marinara gravy as a
there you go.
Yeah, that's what Grandma called it.
I had hot sauce high on my list, but I took salsa. And then I also had fish sauce, gravy, like actual gravy, and barbecue sauce. Like
biscuits and gravy?
Yeah, gravy, turkey gravy, chicken gravy.
Turkey gravy.
Any of those. I don't eat a whole lot of gravy anymore, so it wasn't very high on my list, but I mean, dude, I love a good gravy.
Really not even in the great state of North Carolina. I feel like there's some
sausage gravy.
Right.
Definitely sausage gravy,
Yeah, for sure.
But
what else did I have?
I mean, I eat way more hot sauce and fish sauce and soy than anything else on the board.
Yeah, we didn't say fish sauce. That was on my mind at least. So important, right?
I went back and forth between soy and fish sauce. So
the one I was battling with on my last pick of carbonara was maple syrup.
Ooh, man.
Ooh, I like that one. That's a good one.
Is that a sauce though?
I don't know. You could definitely debate it.
Yeah, you can make it into one for sure. But.
There's a lot of dessert sauces that like I was like, oh, dulce de leche, that's a sauce, right? Creme anglaise, like really good. There's a lot of dessert sauces that are awesome. Probably took an hour for me to start thinking of them. Well, I had pancakes this morning, so that helped.
Yeah, well, it's funny, like, and you brought up sauces, how different everyone's brain went, in my opinion, than where I thought it was going. So
totally.
Yeah, I did have hollandaise and I did have aioli on mine. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. I don't make a whole lot of like classic French food. That's not really like what I'm super into anymore. Like, So I don't know. I didn't really go there. I make way more like South American, and then Asian food is kind of like my jam now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Asian stuff is just like, it is like a saucy element, but it's really just like a bunch of stuff in a wok that turns into a sauce, right?
Yeah. And then there were certain things that like I thought about that I kind of eliminated because I was like, I don't think it's really a sauce, but more of like a dish as a whole. So, but I don't know.
Yeah. I kind of think that about a couple things too. I was like, oh, is that a sauce or is that a soup or a broth, right? Like, I had like cioppino or bouillabaisse, like,
Right.
so good. One of my favorite things to
eat. Is that a
eat.
sauce?
It's kind of a dish.
Is it a dish?
Yeah. Can you have it without the pasta? Probably not.
Probably not. They come in a bottle? I don't think so.
I mean,
yeah. Who writes these rules anyway?
Sriracha was on my list.
We'll send it to the committee.
Sriracha. So, have you guys been able to buy sriracha?
I believe
I
so.
have like a giant one that I've had for a while, so I don't know the last time I tried to buy some.
I don't know if it's exclusive to me or whatever, but my purveyors at work, I haven't been able to find sriracha at all.
Whoa.
Really?
I'm buying like Tabasco off-brand sriracha.
Really?
Oh.
It's actually a great product. I don't want to hate on it because it's tastes great. It's garlicky and thick and all the things you love about sriracha, but
I think I have had it. I mean, sriracha is one of those things that does go through like shortages every once in a while. Where
yeah, I think maybe that happened. I just closed up shop. I'm actually not working right now. We shut down for the month of February. So, but right before we closed down, I couldn't find sriracha for the life of me for like 3 months.
Yeah, for the longest time, I just thought it was that branded bottle. Now, but like, there's so many different brands that make sriracha, so I have no real idea what.
Yeah, and the recipe's not really like, closely guarded secret. It's a bunch of chilies and garlic.
Yeah, sugar, probably hella sugar.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's good though.
Oh, it's amazing. It's like the perfect hot sauce for me.
Yeah,
for a lot of things.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not a very spice guy. Like I like heat, but not to I don't want to cry while I'm eating.
I love it.
I know. I can tell you do.
I like some tears.
I do. But at the same time, I'm not one of those people that has like insanity hot sauce in my fridge that I just like.
Right. You're not like a Thai hot guy or a Southern Indian hot guy, are you?
Dude, those things are so different. I like really hot Thai food.
Those are the two hottest ethnic cuisines I've ever experienced to where I was regrettable when I ate it.
Indian is so much different. I don't know what the hell they do to that. Like, I have an Indian place right across the street from me, and every time I order from them, I order one number less than what I did the previous time, and I swear they just make it hotter, or it's just the same. I don't know. I don't understand.
No, you're just like something about Southern Indian cuisine, boy. They just
so hot.
Like it's game changer to like rearrange your insides hot.
Yeah, and it's a different kind of heat. Like, I talk about this a lot with Thai food. That like the spice you get with Thai food, it's like very like poignant and sharp, and like it's like quick, and it doesn't
goes
quite
away.
Like it goes away. Thai food, Indian food doesn't go away. That shit lingers. It's hot as fuck, and it just like sticks with you.
Yep, gets on your nose and your lips. And you wipe your mouth off with your hands, and then it's on your hands, and your fingernails are burning. Yeah,
your fingernails. Oh man.
Talk about some sauces. Indian food. I mean, so many. Like, if you have one Indian meal, you might have 6 sauces on that dish.
It's all sauces.
It's so interesting to me because that cuisine in particular is so anti like everything you've been taught as a chef, like classically.
Yeah.
Right.
Or most of the time, it's about like elegance and like fewer ingredients and like focusing flavors, where like there are curries that have like 700 ingredients in them, and you're like, how is this going to taste good? And then you taste it and you're like, what is even happening? This is delicious.
Yeah.
And my brain is just like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have no, like, I'm pretty efficient in, Hispanic cooking, definitely French, because that's all I've been doing, seafood and, you know, Japanese, Asian, whatever. But like, could you guys bang out traditional Indian food? Because I sure as hell couldn't.
Aside from like a tikka masala, no, not really.
Right.
That's about all I
And
got.
I could fake that probably, but I don't know what's in it. It's like, I know it's tomato based and there's some chilies in it. And
That one I think I got down pretty well. But yeah, I that's the other thing with Indian food. And I've said this on the pod a few times, that I really need somebody to like take me to an Indian spot and like show me what's up. Because, and also it's like, just like with any other ethnic cuisine, like there are like traditional spots where you go in and you go to a Chinese restaurant and every single person in there is Chinese. They're all sitting down with their families and half the menu is like in Chinese and there's no translation on those. And then they have a page for the whiteys where it's like, orange chicken and General Tso's, and it's like you just kind of stay in your lane. But like if you had somebody like there to show you what was up, like it would
totally.
open up a whole nother world.
Yeah, just bring it.
Yeah. So I need somebody to show me what's up with the Indian food, because
That's why eating with cooks and stuff is always good, because there's no fear of like going to a spot and like being like, feed me whatever you want.
Yeah.
Scare me. Ronnie and I went to Thailand last year, about a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost a year ago.
Good for you guys.
And we ate at this restaurant in Bangkok called Ga. It's a 2-star Indian restaurant. And I left that place more confused than when I went in, really. I mean, we ate so much good food when we were in Thailand. It was awesome. But that meal in particular, one, because of my inexperience with Indian food, two, because it's coupled with this like, oh, well, you also have to understand like local Thai ingredients to kind of understand this meal, plus like this insane amount of culinary knowledge. And like, chef was amazing. And I didn't leave the meal being like, oh, that was the most delicious meal I've ever had, but I definitely left it as like, and it wasn't bad by any means, it was delicious, but I left it as like, oh, that was like one of the more interesting culinary experiences I've had, certainly. Beautiful presentations, beautiful everything. It was awesome.
You got to know what you're getting into, especially when you're going into to the Michelin world.
Yeah.
Because you're either going for like the classic interpretation of whatever, you guys have seen that being out in Napa or whatever.
Sure.
I say Napa, but Tahoe, that whole, San Fran to Tahoe corridor, whatever you want to call it, through Sacramento, there's some of the nicest restaurants in the world, some of the best growing regions, wine, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You get either like your old school, treated like a prince with food that you are somewhat accustomed to, at least. Like there's like a thread, it might be a play on flavors or whatever, but you're getting foie, you're getting duck, you're getting some game bird from California, you're getting fish, you're getting, abalone, right? Or whatever it is. There's themes. And then you go to places like that where there's like some chef who's trying to create some sort of artistic expression, right? And it's like, if you go into it expecting a meal, you're always going to be disappointed, maybe,
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't disappointed. I didn't leave disappointed at the same time.
Well, you're like, why the F did I just drop 300 bones on a 2-hour dining experience? That's the question, right? Like,
I wouldn't classify it that way at all. Actually, like I left it. I'm almost downplaying. Like I was like, oh, this was an awesome and super interesting experience. But was it the best meal that I had in Thailand? Like, I don't know, that like street dumpling was pretty bomb at the same time, right? Like,
right. Like, no, it's fine. You don't want to be disrespectful, but the answer is like, hell no.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
It's hell no.
The last course was durian, and it was like, was like this like roasted durian. There was like all these different toppings inside. I was like, I didn't really know how to eat it all. And it was like, I was kind of afraid of the durian. Everything was good. And there was like things on the table. Like really, I enjoyed more of the sauces than the durian itself. And it was like really interesting and thought provoking. But yeah, would I have like gone back and gotten the durian again? No, I'm good on I'm good on getting that again, but
it's not going to be a Tuesday night staple at the house.
Totally.
Right. I've craved durian exactly 0 times since we left. But I've craved lots of other things that we ate there every day since we left. So yeah,
it's interesting, like I've been fortunate to eat at some really, really, really nice places, especially recently in my life, because my job gives me a little, bank account to go check out new places and do some R&D and those types of things, So being back home, it's nice to go to New York and like see what's going on, but it's rare you get anymore, I think it's a dying thing post-COVID, financially speaking, So places like Thailand, especially the Asian world. I mean, I can't tell you how many 3 Michelin dudes are open up spots in Tokyo or, Hong Kong or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's, the list is endless. So it's interesting because like, on one hand, you want to promote that sort of thing, right? Like progression and art and craft and where they meet and all those cool things. But like you said, you just survived a world where people couldn't even get 40 hours a week making minimum wage post COVID. And now, I think those things are important for dining and like the greater whole. But because people like you and me are always like, I don't want to spend $400 and that's fine. I think that's going to die,
Yeah.
It's dying. I wish it wouldn't. It should be $200. It used to be $200,
Yeah. But everything's more expensive. So, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, eggs right now, it's a joke. It's a meme.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I was getting, like, they were selling my country club eggs. An average price would be like $40 for 15 dozen or something. And they're like 106, 110,
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you sling eggs? What if you're a bacon, egg, and cheese joint right now?
Yeah, totally. And there's something about cooks that like we just like simple food, right? Or, I don't know if that's just us, but like I don't know, the people who like aren't cooks but like find themselves liking fine dining, like they're the ones that like really want to like drop money on like big expensive meals, and we like cooking that stuff. We think it's super interesting and we like putting flavors together and all that. But most cooks, like when you talk about your favorite meal, it's usually something simple and comforting. And
100%.
Yeah, I mean, we love like Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. Like that's one of my favorite things in the world.
Excuse me, pork roll.
Pork roll.
Pork roll, baby.
Taylor brand.
I mean, we used to crush those, obviously, and with a slice of American cheese on there, and like that's, I don't know. When I think of like some of my favorite meals, it's really like simplicity over complexity.
And it's more than simplicity. It's the simplicity done the right way. Like just good, honest food prepared the right way. Good ingredients, just doing it right, not cutting corners, not fucking.
Amen. My whole thing has come full circle. You know what I do now? And I've never been more successful. And it's sort of sad, but it's also very freeing in a way. Because I like that was the most interesting to me. And I devoted literally 15 years of my life to that. And it's all come full circle. And maybe the big metaphor is that like, your brain is like searching for something that just doesn't exist. Why?
Yeah.
Because fucking bacon, egg, and cheeses and Taylor ham, whatever you call it, pork roll, egg, and cheeses are fantastic, and that's okay. You know?
Yeah.
Why am I crushing in my career right now? Because I'm just making prime ribs perfect every time.
Right.
You know? And it's really strange because it's all done this, and it's just focused on executing the best possible version of that simple thing. And people are like, oh my God.
Yeah.
How did you? What is this? You know? And it's like, oh, that's perfectly cooked prime rib that I salted well. You know?
100%. And like you cut through all the bullshit of like, you know, microgreens on every plate, or the, you know, some kind of a drizzle, you know, across every plate, or
100%.
you know, just like useless garnish and things like that, it just wastes money and nobody's actually eating, you know?
Correct.
And it's a battle that I'm fighting in some ways now. And,
it's tough.
you know, and you know, it's like going back to when people were putting truffle oil on everything. It's like, it's not truffle. And you know, like what are you doing here? It's just a crutch. People are using these things as a crutch. Like, just make good French fries. You don't need to put truffle oil on them to make them good. Like,
Amen,
French
brother.
fries are already good. So, you know.
Yeah, I think if we all just went back to making the best version of the thing,
yeah,
restaurants would be better for it in the long run.
Yep. I think cheeseburgers in specific, like particular, have kind of gone through that renaissance where it was like, you know, for how many years was it like this like big, you know, whatever Wagyu patty, this and that, and it had, you know, a fried egg and like, you know, a fried onion and this and that, like all these things piled high, and now all anybody wants is a smash burger. You know, they want a thin patty, American cheese, you know.
Do you know about Burger America?
No, I don't think so.
I could go on for days. It's amazing. A, B, it's a burger joint created by a food historian. He's just like some nerd who loves burgers, created a documentary, opened his own burger joint in the busiest intersection in New York City. He literally sells smash burgers and like smashed into onions, sort of White Castle style. He's got a name for it or whatever. Potato buns.
Oh, wait. Yeah. No, yes, I'm in the process of opening a spot, and I was watching his video when I was looking up my hamburgers. Yes, I do know this guy.
Well, he should be your inspiration because
he is.
He is slinging more burgers than any spot in New York City has ever slung in the history of burger slinging in New York City. Wow. And they're like 3 ingredient masterpieces, my man. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
And like you said, you said it perfectly. That's what the world wants. We're going back we're like resetting right now and being like, whoa, do we really need all this? You know?
Yeah.
Right.
We went overboard for a little bit. Get some of that shreddis on there.
Just party too hard. You know, it's time to settle down.
I don't need a pound, well, like a 1 pound beef patty. Give me 2 2-ounce smashed patties, or like thin patties with American cheese between them. It doesn't get better.
How many burgers with
special
kimchi
appearance?
Yeah, this is Mittens. Hey, Mittens.
Hey, Mittens.
He likes this beer I'm about to open, which is called the Flounder Pounder.
Ooh,
that was my nickname in high school.
An American light lager from Cape May, New Jersey.
Nice. Flounder Pounder.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations, I guess. I've heard worse nicknames, I guess.
It's one of my favorite lines. I've introduced it to my kitchen recently. I got one kid that now, regardless of what I say, whether it's a good nickname or not, he always says, that was my nickname in high school. Like, yeah, you're catching on.
Yeah, you're understanding.
Jordan, what do you like to eat now if you're going out for date night? Like, what are the things that would be on your list?
Oh man, how I cook at home is a question you shouldn't ask, because it's just based around the least amount of dishes at this point.
One pot. Love
to
those
go
dishes.
Out though.
Yeah, simple. I mean, or whatever. What would you do?
I really like sloppy style, and I mean sloppy style in like a good way, but like, maybe you guys can equate like the Tamales Bay experience, but like slopping oysters and cracking BYO beers at one of the local shellfish joints here, just like clams and oysters on the half shell, peel and eat shrimp, crabs. If it's nice outside, I can convince my wife to go get a hammer out and go eat crabs. I think that's my piece of heaven right there.
Oh yeah,
Right on.
And then pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza. I'm a pizza maniac. I love pizza.
yeah.
You serve pizza?
Yeah, I think long game. I'm trying to get my own pizza thing going here.
Cool.
I've done more than a little bit on working on it. It's a thing that I'm trying to bring into existence here pretty shortly. But,
Cool. I've been balls deep in pizza research over the past month or so now. Like I said, this new spot we're opening, it's like a food hall at this corporate building, and we won the contract for it. So there's a bunch of different stations, but we got a badass pizza oven in there, and you're talking to all the food purveyors getting it set up. They're like, "Oh, we got a great dough." I'm like, "That's the one thing." I'm like, I'm making my own dough. I'm not buying in dough balls or pre-rolled out doughs. That's the one thing that I'm stuck on. And I have pizza experience, but
don't do it. That's the right call.
But I'm making my own dough. That's the one thing I'm hardlining on.
It's not so difficult. You just have to have a program down.
Yeah.
I have spent countless hours making and trying to perfect what I think is my perfect version of every pizza dough you can think of.
Uh-huh.
Chicago bar pies, New York style, grandmas, all the above. So if you want any help or any,
definitely enlist
whatever,
your help.
Yeah.
Are you? What's your favorite style to make? I mean, you're in Jersey, so
yeah, New York style, Jersey style. People would say Jersey style is the tomato pie, which I, don't necessarily agree with, but my favorite's like the bridged gap of like that giant New York slice and then like a crispier, more tomato based, less cheesy Jersey style slice.
Mm-hmm.
But your crust is everything.
Yeah.
100%.
So 100% of your work is going to be getting that crust recipe down, timing, temperature, days, fermenting, all that stuff. But
Yeah, and we're going to be closed on the weekend, so that's what I'm trying to work around. So,
do you know what you're doing stylistically
with it? Well, it's part of it is me, and part of it is what the owners want.
Mm-hmm.
So they're wanting like a more of a Neapolitan style.
Right. Great.
And so I'm pushing for like a 72-hour cold ferment, so that you make it on Friday, bulk ferment, sits over the weekend, Monday morning, ball it up, set it out to come up to room temp, and should be good to go. I'm really trying to avoid having people have to be there on the weekend if we're closed on the weekends. And your selling point is that there's no nights and weekends. I don't want to be like, yeah, actually, we do need somebody there on the weekend. So
yeah, no, it's just systems. Your Neapolitan boxes you into that, so you already solved 50% of your dough recipe possibilities right there.
Right.
So with all pizza, but especially Neapolitan, it's just getting your hydration.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
I think. How hot's your oven? Like hot?
I mean, I think it maxes at like 900. So, yeah, I think it's.
Congrats, buddy. Slinging pizzas. Once you start, it's hard to stop. It's like your noodle voyage.
Yeah.
Get ready for the next 5 years of your life.
Yep. No, I did it in the past, but I never really had to, like run it. So, but slinging is always a lot of fun.
I guess this is probably not a good podcast question. I'm getting too deep now. Do you know,
okay.
like purveyors and stuff? Who do you like? You locked into?
Yeah, well, yes and no. I mean, U.S. Foods is a big one, obviously.
Great.
And then we've got some other like smaller local ones that I don't know that I necessarily feel like shouting out just because I don't feel great about some of them.
No, it's fine. U.S. Foods. I know a lot of the big boys at U.S. Foods.
Yeah.
They can source. I mean, pizza is all about your dough. Your dough recipe is most important, and then from there, you just need to buy like really good quality products. You know, your
Yep.
cheese can't have anti-caking agents on it. You want it dry. You want a good Italian tomato. All those things it doesn't even need to be Italian, but it needs to be a certain volume of liquid to tomato ratio and stuff. So, you know, I'll give you a cheat sheet of all the good products that U.S. Foods has, and that's what you should test with. So,
that'd be great. Yeah, actually, I have a couple appointments coming up in the next couple weeks with their test kitchen. So
bring on the samples, baby.
Yeah, they told me to bring a cooler to take things home. So
yeah. Cheese. That's where they try to get you with pizza. Be very skeptical of people slinging you cheese.
Yeah,
especially shredded stuff. It's all coated in like
potato starch.
Oh yeah, that's it. I'm not getting anything that's pre shredded. No, I won't compromise there.
What's like a large volume? You gonna be?
Yeah, so when it first opens, they're building the building right now. It's a quarter mile long, this office.
Oh wow,
it's huge. So when it first opens, they're projecting something like 300 people on campus, but by the time it's at max capacity, they said there could be up to 4,000 people there. So
cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be full on. Got built-in customers, and you know, the employees, they have like a 50% stipend from the company, so they're incentivized to eat there. So yeah, should be good.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah. So let's get on to our idiot sandwiches.
What are you? Idiot.
You stupid idiot.
I'm an idiot sandwich.
You're an idiot. Of all the idiots, you stand alone.
Let's go.
Oh, jeez.
If you're not familiar with the idiot sandwich, this is where we go over, you know, tell us a story, a tale of someone, sometimes more often than not, it's ourselves that we're awarding the idiot sandwiches to. And we just, the fails and whatnot of kitchen life, you know, they happen every day. So,
oh yes.
Being our guest, would you like to kick us off? Do you have a story?
I have so many stories.
Yep.
I could eat idiot sandwiches for the rest of my life. The amount of let's think. Here's a good one. This one's positive too. This one doesn't like nobody gets injured or whatever, made fun of or anything terrible. There's plenty of those too. Fine dining restaurant, summer, Jersey Shore, in a spot, cranking out probably 300 covers a night, but very like it was like a 5 o'clock seating, a 7:30, and then a 9 or whatever.
Okay.
And there was like chef's table upstairs, so there's a lot going on. I was running the pass and sort of directing traffic, and then there's like a 4-man team running the hotline, and then there's 2 chefs upstairs running like a tasting menu, whatever, multi-course.
Okay.
So my brain is like, it's working, right? I'm not noticing everything that I should, I guess. Our Garmager station has a chilled speed rack of trays filled with stuff, right? Everything from desserts, salads, dressings, you know, you name it. Oh, this is funny to even think about. We're pumping, right? Everything's firing all cylinders. Everything's going out. The general manager, thank God, it was the general manager of the time who was this, you know, extraordinarily just like tight in a good way, but like doesn't miss anything. Like, this is the person you want editing your English papers. This is the person you want like writing your notes to lawyers, everything. Like, crisp, clean, not a wrinkle on the shirt type of person running this restaurant. God bless his soul. Just got crushed at like the bar, was pouring cocktails, helping bartenders who were in the weeds. Comes back into the kitchen. Notoriously is like the healthiest human ever, like runs, miles a day, exercises, but has a sweet tooth. And at like the end of the shift, usually comes back and crushes like whatever, an ice cream bowl or a cake or a pot de creme or whatever it is. Comes back, grabs the ramekin off the garde-manger rack, violently starts eating this, like sweating, like probably thirsty, just like getting crushed, and then does the old like spit to the floor, vomit, and he had grabbed the freshly chinoised chicken liver pâté that was chilling on the rack, like, and not like fully solid yet either. So it was like probably like room temp, little below, and just starting to set. So it was like, solid enough to look like the chocolate pot de creme or whatever. And, texturally, I just remember seeing it was still setting liver, and he was just devastated. I think he like walked right out the door, was like yelling, was extraordinarily upset with me that
that was your fault.
Whoever had Childos hadn't labeled them yet. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's all my fault, but that's a story that always sticks out in my brain because, again, nobody really got hurt or whatever.
That's really
that's
funny.
awesome.
That's why you label your prep kids.
Congratulations to him.
And
That's
don't
hilarious.
blindly eat prep. That's not yours.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Maybe there's right.
Maybe
great.
he deserved it.
Maybe you should have asked.
Violently. I love how you said that.
I know.
Oh, it's because you know how it is.
Oh yeah.
As a young cook, it was like the after shift beer, or like, you just absolutely got destroyed, and you have that first moment where you're just like, oh, water, or and he was a sweet tooth guy. He'd always go find a cookie or something. And
love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's awesome. Hilarious. Congratulations to him.
Yeah. Idiot sandwich. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Justin.
Hold the pate.
Yeah. Justin Messelson, God bless his soul. He's running Four Seasons in Chicago now, I believe. So
very nice. Oh yeah.
He made it through. He survived.
There you go. I've got a pretty good one. This was just last week. We do this podcast every week, so now we are on, was this episode 32, I believe?
Yeah, I'm proud of you boys. Keep it going, baby. I mean, love it.
It's 64 idiots that we've had to come up with.
Consistency is everything, baby. Keep it going.
So sometimes you got to dig deep. That's why it's easiest to label ourselves most of the times. But yeah, this was just last week. My owner, he's got his hands in just so many different things right now, and he's always like running around to all these different locations, which are pretty far apart from each other, good 30 to 40 minutes. And so half the time he's just playing delivery guy. And we had some milks that were like getting close on their date in our coffee shop. So to try to burn them before they went out, he was going to take a bunch of these milks to one of our other locations and drop them off there and try to, even out the load and sell them before they went out of date. And so he made an extra trip, goes all the way down there, delivers them, and then the next morning he gets a text message from one of the baristas down there wondering why he left all 12 of them on the counter and not in the refrigerator. So
Yeah.
Spread the love. Yep.
Yeah. You know, it's they say it's a thought that counts, but sometimes it doesn't.
Well, you know, what's the lesson learned? That you should never expect people to finish the job that you started and did 90% of.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much of a lesson.
There's an episode. Your pet peeves of working for chefs. What's the bullshit things that your chefs and leaders have done that you needed to deal with through the years?
Oh yeah, we could fill
most
a
of
lot
them might.
that.
Oh yeah,
most of them might be illegal. I'm afraid. I got one from the way back machine. So Brian must have been 16, 17 years old. I was in vocational school from high school, cooking school.
Nice.
So I'd leave from morning classes to go over to class, to cooking class. And someone broke a glass and they just put it on the trash, or just like left it in the trash can. Right. And Chef G walked by and noticed it. And you know, when like the entire class is getting reamed out for something and like everyone just doesn't know what to say, and like he was freaking the fuck out, right? And he's like, what the fuck is this? Like, you know what's going to happen? Y'all are going to be bringing the trash outside of the dumpster. It's going to cut your leg. Then I'm going to have to be cleaning up your leg while everyone's watching you, while they're going to the bus, and they're going to be laughing at you. And he's like so mad, just reaming out the entire class. And yeah, lesson is, I mean, double wrap that glass and get it into the dumpster as quickly as possible. But
as cliche as that is, too, like that's happened to me.
You've cut your leg from that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, from sketchy trash bags. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good lesson, and Chef got his point across enough to the fact that, you know, 25 years later, I'm talking about this thing, right? Maybe not that far later, but
no, amen. And you're forced to live with the thought of all of the things that were in that trash.
Yeah,
I cut you. You're like, all right, I'm cut, great. But now, what sort of foul trash juice is inside this wound that I have? You know, it's like
totally.
It's gross. And it's that specific habit of throwing away glass in a trash can, that, you know, there's a lot of things you've said, like you were saying about, you know, things that your owners make you do or chefs make you do, and you're like,
right,
you know, or whatever, and you just kind of have to like bite your tongue. That habit, I don't care who you are, you're the general manager, the owner, the chef, whoever, like wherever I've been, that's one thing I will stop you and be like, look, you can't do that, and here's why. You know, I'm not gonna yell at them. But
yelling's over.
Yeah, but that one, I can't stand that one. Yeah.
That's why we all hate it. Now it's our turn to not do that.
Yeah, I've been yelled at enough times.
I think the idiot sandwich goes to the entire class, because I don't actually even know what kid threw it in there, but we all got in trouble for it. Really bad.
As you should have.
So
look at the imprint, like you said. How many years later?
Yeah.
Do you? So this is a funny one. We're talking about yelling at the whole class, and you both may have been there for this, because Wyatt was our chef at the time, and someone was, you know, playing some kind of a prank on somebody, and we were stuffing like a bunch of like empty bottles into somebody's locker. Do you remember that one?
Bottles of like liquor bottles,
like empty liquor bottles, like from the disposal, right, or like the trash bins. And so I want to say maybe it was like Little Jake's locker was like stacked full, and it was like, you know, sherry bottles and things they like cooking wine, you know. Wine. And we had like a meeting. I think
Little Jake. Just saying that just brought back.
Yeah, we had like an employee meeting, and it was like at the end of the meeting, and Wyatt pulls out from under the table. He had like the whole bin. It was like an egg crate full of empty bottles that he found in somebody's locker. He like pulls it out and slammed it on the counter at the end of the meeting and like reamed everybody out. And we were all like trying not to laugh because he was like very angry. But at the end we had to explain to him like nobody actually drank those, dude. It was a joke. We just put them in somebody's locker. But
He probably drank them.
Everyone was just getting their asses chewed out. I forgot about that until just
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember way more specifics about it than I do. Because for me, I was like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Right. I was getting yelled at, but I remember having nothing to do with it. And then you said the word Baby Jake, and I was like, oh, right. Right. That was the source of a lot of commotion, let's say.
A lot of fuckery.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've told a few stories on the pod, I think. Making them eat crazy amounts of whatever, 13, hard-boiled eggs or a whole loaf of sourdough or
Yeah, and the incredible, like the thing that stuck out to me most about him was his uncanny ability to like and willingness to party.
Oh
He
yeah.
was always going to some concert, watching this guy DJ or whatever, staying up till God knows how long, and then he'd get up and shred like pretty consistently, like regardless of the night before, and I'll, to that I have to give some credit because, granted he was 19 at the time or 21 barely or whatever. He was like, youthful and like charging, but holy smokes, that Baby Jake would go harder than most people I've ever experienced in my life.
Totally. I mean, Tahoe attracts that kind of person, right? Like, so,
It does,
I mean, since moving away from there, I'm like, oh, like no one is like that. I'm like, I'm the wild one now, which I'm not used to, right? I'm like used to being like pretty mellow on the scale of 1 to 10. I'm a 3 in Tahoe, but somehow I'm an 8 in Charlotte.
It's interesting. It's interesting. There are some rowdy people in that valley. That's for sure.
I remember Jake at the time. He was driving around some shitbox beater that it was like rattle can spray painted like snow camo spray painted, and I think he didn't have any license. He didn't have any plates.
He didn't have a
on
license.
The thing.
Yeah, correct.
He didn't have a license or license plates on the vehicle. I'm pretty sure he was just riding dirty in that thing.
And I'm pretty sure there was like a lawnmower belt he attached to an engine in his wheels too. It was like it started 10% of the time. I remember one night after work, like having to shove it down a hill to roll start it so we could get out of there. Oh man.
Oh God, that's funny.
He had a car that he had to pay somebody to get rid of it too. Like I don't even know how that thing was turning on.
He left it. He just left it.
100%.
It didn't belong to anybody. It wasn't registered.
Yeah. He pulled up to his camping spot and there it still lays, I would imagine.
Shout out Jake Lassiter.
Yeah, shout out Jake Lassiter.
We had some good times.
Hope you're doing well, buddy, wherever you are.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely.
Well, he's got some idiot sandwiches for us. We got to get him on.
Yeah, we should. And then we like to wrap up every episode with what we call the Whipped Cream Salmon School for Cooks That Don't Cook Good. It's a tip for our listeners. Any of y'all got a tip for our listeners? Let them have it.
How do you do it? Let me hit you with some knowledge. This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
I got one. I've talked about this a little before, but I made pancakes this morning, and I've been following this recipe that makes the fluffiest pancakes. I'm certain of it. And the key to it is just double that fucking baking powder, dude. You don't need a little bit of baking powder. You need a lot of baking powder. You want to gas those motherfuckers up. You want them to be thick boys. We'll gas them up. So if you got some shitty pancake recipe that you're making and they come out flat, throw a little more baking powder in there. That's my tip.
Okay. I like it. The CIA cookbook has a really great pancake recipe that I've been following for. That's my go-to. But
They're gassed up.
they're not as gassed up as you. Maybe I got to double the baking powder.
Gas them up. There you go.
I thought you were gonna hit us with the whipped egg whites fold in at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It can be effective.
That's where I thought you were going.
It can be effective.
That's what we do with our waffles.
Yeah, I actually think that the double baking powder makes it. I mean,
It makes sense.
I think it makes
Why
it.
go through all the extra work if you can just throw another teaspoon of baking powder in there?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that Japanese shit that gets them like really thick, and you have to put a cover on it to, and they're like
it's too
4
much
inches
work.
thick. It's
Yeah, no, I agree.
it's it's not a pancake
For a
anymore.
result that's like questionable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's more like it's definitely more eggy than
Right. You're eating
what
souffle.
you're used to. Yeah, exactly.
I think the biggest tip I have is just simple's okay.
Yeah.
I think again I've worked with every ingredient and I've learned every technique, and I'm sure there's some cutting edge something or whatever that I haven't experienced, but I think it goes back to like that's great as a knowledge base, but you're still going to default to what you like, which is mama's food or comfort food or simple flavors.
sure.
100%.
And even at the highest level of cooking, that has brought me the most success. Straight up.
Keep it simple,
Yeah.
stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Simple, really good ingredients. That's it. Present
Yeah.
it.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, especially if you buy good protein, good seasonal vegetables, your job is essentially to not mess it up at that point. So,
Fair enough. And my tip, this is one that every competent chef anyway, should be doing anyways. Cross utilization. If you're a home cook, and you're trying to plan out some dinners throughout the week, groceries are expensive. Don't make 10 different individual dishes throughout the week. Make a couple different ones and cross-utilize your ingredients. Save yourself some money and be creative with what you're making. So that's what I got for you.
Nice. Yeah.
amen.
Yeah. Make a sauce, serve it with 2 different proteins, 2 different nights of the week, or whatever. Yeah. Even
100%.
simpler if you, just, use that usable trim from vegetables. We always have a 6-pan that just has like veggie scraps and that we're always pulling out of. I think a lot of people throw out a lot more than they should be.
Usable trim. That was your nickname in high school.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you can tell he's from New York.
Mhm.
Usable trim
Hey.
from New York. Yeah. No, and New York is one of the greatest states in the union, baby.
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
New York and the dirty Jers. I've been all over, including the lovely Tahoe with you guys, and somehow I found my way back here. So
Yeah.
Love
Right
it.
on.
Love it.
I'm gonna come see you guys in North Carolina.
Yeah, I got to get up there and shuck some oysters together or something.
Anytime you're up this way, hit me up, please.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it. Do you anything you'd like to shout out or plug or anything like that before we get you out of here?
No, except that I've had some of my greatest memories with you boys in kitchens, and
Aw.
that time together was special for whatever it was worth, and it's funny seeing you all this time later, and I wish you boys nothing but the best and greatest, and a life full of love and happiness, because it's weird how we haven't even really known each other that long, and I feel like you two are some of my best buds, so I appreciate it.
Appreciate that, man.
We talk about that all the time, that like, thank you. But just like the relationships that you're going to make in a kitchen, like can be really quick and, hot and heavy, and it's awesome. And like, I've been working with people now for years that I barely know, and it's not unfortunate. It is what it is. But in a single shift next to someone, you can learn a lot about that person and you can become really close.
Yeah, 100%.
Something special about the heat of the moment and the restaurant industry, period.
Yeah, you get to see the best and worst of them really quickly.
Real quick.
Real
Yeah.
quick.
Real quick. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, love you guys. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Whipped Cream Salmon Podcast, Instagram, whippedcreamsalmon@gmail. Shoot us some idiot sandwiches, some tips. Say hi. Tell Jordan hi.
To idiot sandwiches. I appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for being on, Jordan.
Good seeing you, boys.
Love you.
Peace.
Peace.